Do you see a change in you every month after the divorce?
So I would say there's a transformation. So of course, like for somebody who was attracted towards women, girls, now it doesn't attract me anymore. So I want my own peace. I want my own time. She said कि सब ठीक तो होगा. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're going through a lot, but it's not you. You're not that person. You are not that person to take any wrong decision, and you've never taken a wrong decision.
Did you cry?
I did cry, and मेरा जो है, you know.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Incompletely Yours. मेरा नाम है दिव्या और ये पॉडकास्ट मेरी एक छोटी सी कोशिश है इस चीज़ में विश्वास की कि कॉन्वर्सेशंस और बातचीत जो है ना वो ज़िंदगी में सबसे बड़ी थेरेपी है. अगर आप किसी से बात कर सकें तो शायद उसमें खुद को ढूंढ सकते हैं. कभी कभी अपने गुमे हुए जवाबों को ढूंढ सकते हैं और कभी कभी कुछ क्वेश्चंस दैट आर अनआंसर्ड उन्हें ढूंढ सकते हैं. और मेरे साथ आज कॉन्वर्सेशन में इस बातचीत में जो जुड़ रहे हैं वो है रजत. He's a media practitioner, and every time I talk about divorce, Rajat, it is so strange. Like the moment I shared it with my friends और आसपास किसी को भी बोला कि मैं एक पॉडकास्ट बनाना चाहती हूँ डिवोर्स पे, तो पहली चीज़ सवाल यही होता है कौन कौन आएंगी. तो मैंने बोला कौन कौन आएंगे होगा इस बार. The whole idea is that separation, marriages is always about two people, right?
Right.
तो how can grief only be about one? और ये मेरा बहुत ऑनेस्ट कन्फेशन है कि आज की ये जो बातचीत है आपको मैं जानती हूँ, उसके बावजूद भी मैं नहीं जानती कि एक बंदा क्या जर्नी जीता है जब सेपरेशन से गुजरता है. सो पहले तो थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग इन, थैंक यू फॉर सेइंग येस टू द पॉडकास्ट. तुमने हाँ क्यों की जब मैंने बोला वुड यू कम ऑन द शो?
Thanks for calling me, Divya. Like, I think this is one conversation which I would want to have with anyone, with an open mind, right? And as you said, separation it's not gender specific. It covers both the genders. When you grow up, so of course we have siblings with us, we have parents with us, we have our cousins, we have, friends, etc., etc. We have school friends. So of course, like, as we keep charting our course of life, we keep adding people amongst us.
Yeah.
And separation goes against that very fundamental. And that too, like, separation in a marriage it's fairly deep.
What was your idea of getting married? If I ask, वो एक दिल के अंदर धक-धक वाला जो phase होता है, हाँ?
Yes, I would say इतना अगर literal भी ना हो, so of course, I mean, there is you definitely feel that, yeah, you're getting married, you look forward to it,
Yeah.
you will settle down finally, there will be a person in your life who, वो तमाम चीज़ें थी. थोड़ा सा I would like to digress here again. उसमें भी ना हम सब लोगों का अपना अपना अलग नेचर होता है. सो मे बी मैं थोड़ा सा मेरा क्लॉजेटेड नेचर रहा है जिस वजह से आई वुड से आई वॉजंट एबल टू एम्ब्रेस द मैरिज द वे अदर पर्सन वुड हैव एम्ब्रेस्ड. सो मेरा ये था कि ठीक है, शादी हुई है, इट्स ओके. मेरे को दिमाग में था कि इट मे बी वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस अ फ्यू डेज, फ्यू मंथ्स डाउन द लाइन, एंड देन लाइक अल्टीमेटली we will be living as friends and girlfriend boyfriend or like lovers, but ऐसा होता नहीं है, ठीक है? Especially when you are pitched in a arranged marriage setup. I'm not desisting anyone or asking people not to go for arranged marriage. It's their choice totally. So arranged marriage is a different treatment of marriage, whereas love marriage is different treatment. वहाँ पे मैं और दोनों में ही डिफरेंसेस हो सकते हैं. दोनों में भी कैटास्ट्रोफिक डिफरेंसेस हो सकते हैं. अरेंज मैरिज में ये है कि देयर इज आल्सो नोवेल्टी फैक्टर टू इट, राइट? व्हेयरएज लव मैरिज में वो नहीं होता है. पॉसिबली वी नो टू मच अबाउट ईच अदर. सो यहाँ पे ठीक है, इट वाज अ नाइस जर्नी टू बिगिन विद. वी गॉट टू नो ईच अदर वेल एंड इट वाज नाइस. वी एक्सप्लोर्ड क्वाइट अ फ्यू थिंग्स, वी ट्रैवल्ड टुगेदर एंड इट वाज अ गुड जर्नी, आई वुड से. But here I would say, somewhere down the line I was possibly withdrawn.
The Rajat that you knew of शादी में, and the Rajat जो अभी है divorce के बाद, and your divorce is fairly recent, तो मुझे पता है कि आपकी रिकवरी अभी हो रही है, and I'm sure एक साल के बाद जब आप ये वीडियो वापस देखोगे you'll realize you're completely different. But क्या मेजर फर्क लगता है रजत, वो रजत जो था और वो रजत जो अभी है? बीच वाले में हम आएंगे बाद में.
Divorce is not an ailment.
Yeah.
It's either a conscious choice or a forced choice.
Yeah.
So it ultimately becomes a matter of choice for you when you have to, let go of marriage, and it is a very difficult decision. Sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes you see there is no other way but this.
Yeah.
Of course, things have changed. I have changed as a person. Possibly, I was very different prior to divorce, or when I would say, when the process began, or when the separation began. Because in my case, there was a separation preceding the divorce. It's too personal, so I don't want to go into the reasons behind it. But I can only say that separation was fairly long, fairly cold. And both of us, of course, it was a both of us. It's not like I'm a victim here, or I'm...
Both the parties feel
yeah,
the pain.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's both of us have gone through the same pain, and ultimately our struggles were the same.
Yeah.
So I would say there's a transformation. So of course, from person who used to be afraid of things to somebody who became fairly stern.
Yeah.
Very, very, I would say, extremely stern कि ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. Then very decisive, and then I would say then reflective. I'm largely now reflective person, withdrawn from quite a few things, withdrawn from having any relationship at this stage, at least. I don't know when this will go, but this is there. I'm fairly withdrawn. I am I don't say I would say for somebody who was attracted towards women, girls, and having that flair to be in a relationships. Now it doesn't attract me anymore. So I want my own peace. I want my own time, and I feel I am too stubborn and too stern, or if I can take liberty, I'm too hard-assed for having any relationships now. I think not many girls or women would be open to embrace me the way I am, because there has been a journey and it does impact you.
It does.
उसमें पॉजिटिव भी होते हैं, उसमें नेगेटिव भी होते हैं. तो यहाँ पे हम पॉजिटिव की बात करें, as we say.
No, I think all the negatives are also positive. So when I realized that, because you've shared it, I would want to tell you कि मैं सबसे बड़ा change यही देखती हूँ. When you say you become stern, मैं सबसे बड़ा change अपनी body language में देखती हूँ. So when I see my photos, and this is not about the second person in the marriage, this is about me. जैसे जैसे शादी टूट रही थी, मेरी पूरी body language ऐसी हो गई थी. एंड डिवोर्स के टाइम पे तो मैं पूरे ऐसे हो गई थी, बिकॉज आप हर जगह कोर्ट में or wherever you are sitting, आप पूरे टाइम यूँ बैठे होते हो, because there is so much of weight. I realize everything mental is physical at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is.
Today when I walk, my body has changed. It's not because I work out कि आपके कंधे ही हो गए, नहीं. But there is so much more. There is sternness. There is a stubbornness. And that stubbornness is purely because मुझे लगता है कि खुद से प्यार करना तो हमने सीखा ही नहीं है. कई केसेस में लोग ये बोलते हैं कि जैसे जजेस भी कितनी बार समझाते हैं कि बेटा केस खत्म कर लो, कितने साल चलाओगे, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा, व्हिच इज फेयर. समटाइम्स यू फाइट फॉर द राइट रीजंस, कीप फाइटिंग. समटाइम्स यू जस्ट फाइटिंग बिकॉज योर लॉयर्स कीप टेलिंग यू कि लड़ते रहो.
राइट.
नाउ पुटिंग इट ब्रॉडली, हाउ वाज इट इन योर केस? चलता रहा. Did you take the first call कि नहीं, I will say क्या लिखना है, or all of those things? If you can just briefly touch that bit.
Say roughly, I would say that अगर मैं कहूँ ना कि as I said, जो divorce proceeding से पहले there was a separation, और so we were living separately, and then I filed for divorce. So somewhere initiative has to be taken. So when I filed for divorce, my brief to lawyers was no wild allegations. जो fact है वो fact है. No insinuations, no personal agendas to be ratified here. I am it's my case at the end of the day. Your lawyers are only communicators for you.
Yes.
In the
absolutely.
language of law, right? But ultimately, it's your case. Ultimately, it's you who decide the fate of it
Yeah.
by signing up the documents itself. When he filed, उसके बाद पहला appearance था, then I met my ex-wife, and of course like उसके बाद it was followed by a round of mediation. Two of us had a very good conversations, very matured, very evolved conversations in the mediation. As I said, हम दोनों के struggles एक थे, हूबहू बिल्कुल, it's a mirror image of each other. So I mean, there was no any allegation, there was no I would say complaints, there were no heartburn, क्योंकि हार्ट तो टूट चुका था.
Yeah.
तो at
Heartburn
least
क्या होगा?
that aspect was taken away. It was all about how mentally strong we were to go through it. तो मेरा यही था कि कि if I've lived with someone, तो at least यार seeing her to be examined, cross-examined, going through the rigmarole of courts, that would be the most difficult part, and that would be unfair and highly undignified. तो वो मैं नहीं देख सकता था, ठीक है. On obviously even she was not really interested to prolong the agony what two of us were going. So then like we had a good mediation. उसके बाद like we decided to call it quits.
इस पूरे केस में बिटरनेस आती है लड़ते हुए 4 साल 5 साल में, जब शुरू होता है और जब खत्म हो रहा होता है. अपनी बिटरनेस से खुद कैसे डील किया है इस लंबे टेन्योर में? इफ आई ओनली टॉक अबाउट यू रजत, बहुत सारे बंदे देखेंगे, सो लाइक इन केस ऑफ वुमेन व्हेन आई से हम रो देते हैं, हम कोना ढूंढ लेते हैं, मैं रो लूंगी, मैं भी आई वुड हैव प्रॉब्ली आस्क्ड यू कि चलो कॉफी पीते हैं, वहाँ 2 आंसू निकाले और चले गए. Men can't cry, men should not cry, men have to be strong. We already have so many stereotypes in the market. Where does your bitterness go? वो कड़वाहट, वो अकेलापन, वो कैसे निकला इतने सालों में?
I agree to stereotypes. I'm very
Massively.
I'll not dispute with that.
Yeah.
All of us, all are men, because of course that's our mental makeup, and that is what we are. So I'm proud to be a man, firstly. So of course हमें लगता है कि यार we can't cry in public.
Yeah.
हमें नहीं रोना चाहिए. We can't appear as weak.
Yeah.
ठीक है. We have to appear कि yeah, I'm in this struggle, I'm fighting, I'll win, blah blah blah. लेकिन अंदर से ना you are so brittle, so weak.
Yeah.
You are it's like a part of you have already gone, which will never come back.
Yeah.
It's not in a deep freezer कि आप इसको बाहर निकाल दो, it'll thaw और वो ठीक हो जाएगा. It is in a deep, it is gone forever.
Yeah.
मेरे केस में कहूँगा कि आई एम लकी कि थोड़ा सा एक तो ठीक है, फैमिली, माई सिस्टर, एंड आई हैड अ वेरी स्पेशल फ्रेंड जो हमेशा मुझे इनकरेज करती थी, कहती थी कि ठीक है, थिंग्स विल गेट गुड, इट विल फॉल इन प्लेस, यू डोंट हैव टू लूज इन नर्व, यू जस्ट हैव टू बी स्ट्रॉन्ग, सब कुछ ठीक होगा. आई मीन वही होता है कि ना, शिट हैपेंस, बट आपके साथ कोई खड़ा हो बोले कि नहीं सब कुछ ठीक होगा. इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन लाइन, बट शी रियली हेल्प मी इन कमिंग आउट ऑफ इट. अब है क्या कि जैसे कोविड का भी आया, सो आई लॉस्ट माई मदर, सो दैट वॉज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट फेज. ठीक है. सो मी, मॉम एंड डैड, 3 of us वर डाउन विद कोविड. और सेकेंड वेव में ये था कि ओके, विल वी सर्वाइव द नेक्स्ट डे, विल वी वेक अप. किसी का ऑक्सीजन 80 है, किसी का 40 है. मॉम पास्ड अवे, शी वॉज हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड बट शी कुडंट मेक इट. आई सर्वाइव्ड. वो मेरे लिए एक टर्निंग पॉइंट था कि आई सर्वाइव्ड. सो ये था कि ठीक है, नाउ आई हैव सर्वाइव्ड, सो एटलीस्ट आई विल मेक माई सेल्फ काउंट. देयर वाज लॉस ऑफ मदर, एंड there is this separation, plus there is you are looking at ki now there is nothing left. But that person, she really helped me come out of it. She was like a support system, which I don't think so I'll ever get. Because that person is not there with me anymore, in the sense that
you're not connected,
not connected with her anymore. So, and never did her presence, I would say, ऐसा नहीं है कि her presence filled the emptiness. It made me realize my state of belongingness. कहाँ पे है, ठीक है, what do I have to do? Should I only get bitter and bitter and bitter and fight? होता है ना कि वो थोड़ा सा ना कभी कभी एक ब्रेकडाउन मोमेंट भी आता है कि नाउ इट्स इनफ, अब मैं तो कल उठूंगा और ये करूंगा.
वो नहीं हो पाता है.
So,
हाँ, वो
हाँ, you
वो
know,
हम बाहुबली मोड में आते हैं कि कल हम दुनिया फतेह कर लेंगे.
नहीं
नहीं
मतलब
होता.
ये है कि यार
नहीं
अब
होता.
मैं अपने वकील को फोन कर रहा हूँ, नाउ लेट्स गो फॉर इट.
Yeah.
बट देन देयर वाज अ कॉन्शियस कीपर.
Yeah.
So that woman, she actually held firm my conscience, and she said कि सब ठीक तो होगा, it's okay,
Yeah.
it's okay, you're going through a lot, but it's not you, you're not that person, you are not that person to take any wrong decision, and you've never taken a wrong decision, and I made a choice कि इससे जैसे भी है ग्रेसफुली निकलना है, इससे कोई लड़ाई नहीं करनी है, कोई झगड़ा नहीं करना है इससे. Thankfully, my ex-wife also agreed to that. She, of course, I think she is more mature than I am. And she is far more braver than I am, far more stronger than I am, because I would say हम लोगों के struggles same रहे हैं.
सेपरेशन नेचुरल नहीं है क्योंकि हमारे इकोसिस्टम में अलग होना सिखाया ही नहीं गया.
Ecosystem is a word. Yeah.
हमारे इकोसिस्टम में हमेशा सिखाया गया साथ रहना, प्यार करना, बढ़ना, बढ़ाना,
वही है.
यूनिटी. एंड व्हेन दिस डज नॉट हैपन, उसको फिर क्या करना है उसका कोई जवाब कोई नहीं देता. इनफैक्ट आई ऑलवेज से शादी की सेलिब्रेशन में 500 लोग, 300 लोग, 1000 लोग. आप जब कोर्ट में खड़े होते हो कितने लोग थे साथ में? एक, दो?
सिवाय पेरेंट्स के, ठीक है, और आपके जो एक आध दोस्त हैं, बट लार्जली इट वाज फैमिली हु गाइडेड मी फॉर बेटर, हु स्टूड बाय.
डू यू क्राई? डिड यू क्राई? एंड इज क्राइंग ओके?
आई डिड क्राई. एंड मेरा जो है जब प्रोसीडिंग चली थी, जब लास्ट वो आ गया था, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम लोगों के डिवोर्स के 2 प्रोसीडिंग होती हैं. देयर इज फर्स्ट मोशन एंड देन सेकंड मोशन जब डिक्री मिलती है आपको. हम लोगों का एमिकेबल म्यूचुअल डिवोर्स था. सो उसके बाद फर्स्ट मोशन हुई, और उसके बाद जो है जब सेकंड मोशन की बारी आई तो उस दिन जो है थोड़ा सा कोर्ट में डिले था, और बाकी केसेस थे. समटाइम्स केसेस आर नंबर्ड दैट वे, तो हम लोग थोड़ा जल्दी पहुंच गए थिंकिंग कि यार हमारा जो है इतनी देर में आ जाएगा. बट देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ टाइम बिटवीन टू ऑफ अस, सो वी हैड दीज कॉन्वर्सेशंस, लाइक टू ऑफ अस, मी एंड माय एक्स वाइफ, वी हैड and those were conversations which were frozen in time. So it was occasion to put it out and break it free, because that was required. और उसी से कह सकते हैं आगे क्लोजर मिला. एक
क्लोजर मिला. डिड यू लुक फॉर क्लोजर, या ऐसा लगता है कि शादी प्रोसीडिंग्स डिवोर्सेस में कहीं क्लोजर्स मिल सकते हैं हमको? When we can stop thinking about why did this happen and all of that.
You have to relieve each other, because if you tie yourself up, एक वो होता है कि जाओ मैं तुम्हें कभी माफ़ नहीं करूँगा. पर्सन टू पर्सन होता है, ठीक है, मे बी लाइक मेरा नज़रिया अलग है. सो मेरा ये था कि वन लास्ट कॉन्वर्सेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड. वो होता है ना कि जाने से पहले लास्ट टाइम मिलना ज़रूरी होता है. तो दैट कॉन्वर्सेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड, एंड वी हैड दैट कॉन्वर्सेशन. एंड टू it's now this is, I would say, it's in the realm of sanctity. ठीक है. So I'll not say कोई verbatim I'll not share as to like what me and my ex-wife discussed. But certainly where it was due, I said sorry to her.
Good.
And
Brave.
I could hear a sigh of relief from her, and I think that was a moment where we relieved each other. So it's like now be at peace.
रिलीव मतलब इफ यू वाचिंग कि आज़ाद करना ही पड़ता है एक पॉइंट पे आपको एक दूसरे को, उसके बाद अपनी बैटल शुरू होती है. डू यू सी अ चेंज इन यू एवरी मंथ आफ्टर द डिवोर्स? डू यू रियलाइज दैट सुबह आसान हो रही हैं थोड़ी सी उठने में?
हाँ, डेफिनेटली. it certainly lightens you, and it brightens you. You become a better person. You become more confident. At least you would say कि fine. Say मेरा जो है personally मेरे लिए from where I drew confidence, or I could back myself to the hilt was, or I can congratulate myself, is that this is one fight which I didn't fight, yet it was resolved.
Wow. Yeah.
We have to come out of it. So mera, with everyone, it's important. Case to case again different hota hai, but as far as possible, we should not prolong the agony of anyone. This mindset कि हम केस लंबा खींचेंगे, अगली पार्टी को परेशान करेंगे, it doesn't work. You're fooling yourself and you are also party to that agony ना. भाई जो उनका struggle है वही आपका struggle है.
Yeah.
Unless they have in stealth married or settled down or whatever, वो अलग मामला है. But अगर दूसरा भी जो पार्टी है, even they are alone, you are also alone. So उसमें तो I don't think so there is any difference between two of you.
Yeah.
She is also coming back from office and workplace or wherever she is working, ठीक है, driving down or by public metro or by whatever, ठीक है, going to places,
Yeah.
you know, taking selfies, क्योंकि
Yeah.
और कोई नहीं ना खींचने वाला फोटो.
हाँ.
You take selfies, I would say, you know, it's I've seen one thing, you know, after you're separated, your selfie is
Yeah.
the biggest slap on your face because
There is nobody else to
it
click.
is a stamp.
Yeah.
It is a stamp on the picture ki dude, you are alone. There is nobody. And that's why taking selfie. Just you know, just be mindful when you were together, so at least there was someone to take a photograph. There was somebody, you were there. When I used to go to a certain place where we used to go together, and when she's not there, so you somewhere down the line you tend to imagine the presence, because you know spaces are also imagined sometimes.
Yeah.
And like there's a place in Khan Market, there's a place in DLF Mall, there's a place in Delhi Heart, there is a place here and there. So of course you leave a footprint somewhere, a mental footprint. So
Yeah.
when you go back, that somewhat leaves you incomplete.
Yeah.
And it's then your battle begins then when you realize that you are incomplete. And how quickly you're able to recover from there, it's totally, it depends upon your own will and willingness, or you know, wish कि आपको कितना जल्दी आगे बढ़ना है. Thankfully in my case, two of us were conscious of that pain,
Yeah.
and we decided to end our agony soon and soonest, and it happened.
Sometimes we respect each other way too much, but I think हम ये realize करते हैं कि हम एक दूसरे की बहुत इज्जत करते हैं, हम एक दूसरे को समझते बहुत हैं, हम एक दूसरे जैसी ज़िंदगी जी रहे हैं अलग होके भी, लेकिन शायद हमारा अलग होना या अलग रहना हम दोनों के लिए बेहतर है. That is your story and I think it's so beautiful when you're saying it right now, because इस पूरी कॉन्वर्सेशन में इतनी रिस्पेक्ट है ना रजत, दैट मैं बार बार ये शो पे यही कहना चाहती हूँ, बना के भी और लोगों से भी मिलती हूँ, लड़ाई लड़ना ज़रूरी है. कोई लड़ाई अगर आप नहीं लड़ोगे तो शायद सो नहीं पाओगे, बिकॉज यू नो दैट यू इन्वेस्टेड अ लॉट. फाइटिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट समटाइम्स फॉर योर सेल्फ, फॉर योर पीस, फॉर योर सैनिटी. डोंट मेक देम नास्टी, क्योंकि इवेंचुअली लड़ाई में थकते भी हम हैं, गिरते भी हमें, चोट भी हमें लगती है. हमें कितनी चोट खानी है वो हमारे हाथ में है. हम कितनी चोट डिज़र्व करते हैं और कितनी जल्दी एक नई ज़िंदगी शुरू करना डिज़र्व करते हैं, वो सब हमारे हाथ में है. सो प्लीज़ चूज़ योर बैटल्स वाइजली, चूज़ योर एनर्जीज वाइजली. एंड लाइक यू सेड, इनकम्प्लीट होने की फीलिंग शुरू ही तब होती है जब डिवोर्स हो जाता है. आई फील दैट बिट ऑफ इनकम्प्लीट माई सेल्फ एंड आई फाइंड माई सेल्फ सो कम्प्लीट इन दैट इनकम्प्लीट मोड. इसीलिए मैंने इसका नाम इनकम्प्लीटली योर्स रखा है.
तो आई मीन मेरा तो यही है कि वो इनकम्प्लीशन रहती है, ठीक है, वो रहेगी, ठीक है, बट समवेयर डाउन द लाइन यू हैव टू मेक पीस विद दैट. एंड जैसे कि इफ आई मे लाइक what's a way of recovery from there? It's a catharsis. It's a very slow process.
Yeah.
Very, very slow process. So if I may, substantiate this feeling with some lines, ठीक है, so I would only say, forgive me for pushing you to be strongest forever. Forgive me for I fear your unhappiness. As you endured, so did I. For as you suffered, I'd also suffered. But there was an endurance. We just have to look at each other, just one last time. We have to make peace with it, relieve each other, and just walk our own ways. Yeah.
I loved it. The tears of happiness.
This is not my line, but yeah, but this is something which I would say I could supplant it.
Yeah.
Of course, writing has helped me in this, so I keep on. I write myself sometimes, and
Sorry, but I just wanted to ask this before I let you go, and we've had a long chat. मैंने बीते कुछ दिनों में आपके सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत सारी पोइट्री देखी है, सॉन्ग ऑफ द लिटिल बर्ड करके. I figured out that has become your that's become your outlet, if I can say that. My outlet is this. I cry and I feel so good. But what has helped? Writing has helped. Did you find other ways जिससे अपने को relieve कर सको?
see, writing जो है Song of the Little Bird.
I think we've got help. We should use it.
That's nice.
Do you want?
No, thanks.
Yeah, we can choose to keep it, leave it, but I think the lines were important. So writing, Rajat, you've been writing a lot, I see.
I write. That's not too much. But kuch, those are old poems which I've written at some point. So I reproduce, and yeah. So that has helped actually. You know, that's a way of outlet, and of course travel, which hasn't been much post COVID. That has been an outlet too. अभी लाइफ में पहले अपनी लाइफ का पहला at the age of 42 I took my first ever solo trip to Andamans, so
How
that was
cool
good fun.
is this? How fun was it?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I would say yeah, nice place
लड़कियां
to be.
दिखी?
लड़कियां भी दिखी.
धक-धक हुआ?
धक waves हुई.
But at least you started with, see, that's what I'm saying. जिंदगी मौका देती है बहुत कुछ करने का. It's not just reserved for जिंदगी मिलेगी ना दोबारा. We can go for solo travels. We can look for dating apps. We can look for dates again.
Dating app
We
मेरे पास
can
की बात
write
नहीं है.
again. We can read again. You started writing now.
Yeah, I do write. I do write. And sometimes I write in absentia about the person, as I said. So, you know, and that's somewhat, you know, sometimes it's also summary of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So, jaise ki, this is one of my favorite poems which I wrote. And it's like, that's my favorite poem, I would say. That's my own lines, unlike the last ones.
Let me be ready. Yeah.
It's a simple line. It's like, you know, I drew gaze, you drew curiosity. You worked on straight lines, I scaled thin margins. In absence, you are a page of memory. In presence, I'm a picture of yearning. That's how our beautiful fiction began.
Wow. Wow. I hear slow claps coming in the room. I wish जिंदगी एक fiction की तरह होती और हम कुछ चीज़ों को सिर्फ delete कर सकते और फिर दोबारा लिख सकते. Actually, it is almost like that. हमने कुछ चीज़ें delete करके दोबारा ही लिखी है. That is why they say truth is stranger than fiction. Maybe life is giving us another chance. Rajat, any final words? Or maybe let me ask you very clearly. Any guilt that you think जो अभी भी चुपता है कहीं जिससे free होना चाहते हैं? And not guilt specifically in terms of your relationship, but is there anything that you think you feel sorry for जिससे free होना है?
Say, मैं वही कहा कि ना, in those lines I said कि my fears were the unhappiness, what she, like my ex-wife went through, my fears were that she has to be strong forever, and she is. As I said, she's stronger than me. But this is something which we had. It was a very similar battle. It was the same battle. So we endured, we suffered, we came out of it, and we relieved each other with a sense of grace. So I would say there is no guilt, and nor should be on the other side as well, because we have to look forward and keep on walking. We can't be in a bind of time. Only if we are stuck in time, nobody will help you. You'll only get in the vacuum. So
yeah.
And it, as I said, just like separation is against the laws of nature or ecosystem, as I said, similarly for anyone who is living, to be in some sort of a vacuum is against that very ecosystem.
Yeah.
And you have to, even if you are tied, even if you are bounded, or even if somebody is trying to pull you in, you have to come out of it. You have to come out of it. As human beings, our genetic information is to survive.
Yeah.
And we have to get out of it. So it's survival not from any demise or death or whatever, but survival from that one moment that has a potential to forever suck you in darkness.
Yeah.
If you're able to, that one moment decides, it's like a tipping scale.
Yeah.
वो एक moment जो होती है that decides which path you want to choose. Either you can be a pugnacious and argumentative and fighting forever, or you can just simply choose a path which is uh, slightly unconventional and slightly I would say uncertain, in the sense that कि वहाँ पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है, but you can give एक amicable solution or to wound up things peacefully a chance. You have to give. I mean, उसके
Yeah,
अलावा
yes,
I don't think so. Fighting is an option, because say fighting is a choice.
Yeah.
You're not opting to fight.
Yeah.
You're choosing to fight, whereas you're opting to end it peacefully. That is important. So you have to make that choice rather
love
than
it.
fighting.
Choose the choices rightly is what he's saying, and I think I love the fact कि throughout his conversation मुझे एक चीज़ समझ आई है, whether it was the friend who helped, whether it is the fight ending gracefully, एक हाथ आपको पकड़ के बाहर निकलना ही निकलना है. कई बार वो हाथ नहीं मिलता अंधेरे से बाहर निकलने को, तो वो अपना ही हाथ पकड़ लो यार. You have to get out of the darkness, and like he said, of course, survive तो करना है. और I can promise you one thing when I'm making this video, and I can say this with utmost श्योरिटी दैट ये लड़ाई वर्थ इट होती है. अगर आप लड़ रहे हो, ये पेनफुल होती है, कोई नहीं कहेगा. इवन इफ योर पार्टिंग वेज, अगर आप अलग हो रहे हो, दर्द होगा, लेकिन उस दर्द के बाद चीज़ें ठीक होंगी. एंड ऑल आई कैन से इज दैट डार्क विल ब्रिंग इन लाइट. If there is no light, you be that light. This is Incompletely Yours. This is a podcast that I've made from my heart, क्योंकि वो हार्ट टूट गया था, फिर वो हार्ट जुड़ना शुरू हुआ है, और जब वो जुड़ना शुरू हुआ है तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि it's far better. It loves slightly more better. It respects people slightly more better. There's more gratitude.
Yes.
And that is why this is Incompletely Yours with Divya. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Rajat.
Thanks, Divya. Thank you.